I'm gonna gun it twice with the windows up and the windows down. I'll show you how it sounds from in the cabin. It's ridiculous, guys. Ridiculous. Alright guys, so now we're in the car with the Corsa Sport catback up into the catless headers. And now they're not headers, they're just stock OEM headers without catalytic converters on it. But honestly, the sports catback, Corsa does a really, really good job about their anti-drone. Like honestly, a lot of times, I feel like this car is almost too quiet now. Like the Corsa Sports catback made this car a completely night and day difference. Like the best thing about this exhaust, in my opinion, so far, I mean, nothing has changed besides I had the Roush axle backs hooked up to the Roush X pipe. The only thing that's changed is I put the Corsa double helix X pipe, and then I also have so it's the touring mufflers, and those two together make the Corsa Sports catback. So you'll see a lot of guys, they'll buy the Corsa Extremes and they'll buy the catback and it's too loud for them, so they'll go ahead and they'll swap out the actual catback or the axle back piece for the touring mufflers, which gives them this setup that I have in the car currently. So it helps tone it down a little bit. So I feel like from everything that I've read, I've never really heard a car with the Corsa Extremes in person, just online. And if you're running catalytic converters, the Corsa Extreme is probably about the same level-wise as this, so sound level-wise. Now, if you delete the cats or if you're running headers, that along with the Corsa Extreme is honestly almost too obnoxious. It's kind of like my old setup. So my old setup was, like I said, the Roush axle backs with the Roush X pipe, and that's supposed to be on sound level comparison to the Corsa Extreme catback. So if you're running catalytic converters, that setup might be really great. I mean, Corsa, I have nothing bad to say about them. To be honest with you, I actually want to try out the Corsa Extremes on this setup right now, and just to see the sound level wise difference and stuff, because right now I feel like the Corsa Sports catback, I feel like with catalytic converters it might be a little bit too tame for my taste, but in this setup without catalytic converters, it's sound level wise, I feel like it's perfect. Like I can keep it under 2,000 RPMs. I'll post a clip up right here. And I'll call that don't piss off your neighbors mode. Literally, you can drive anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 RPMs and you can keep it quiet. It sounds like a stock Mustang. But the second you get over 4,000 RPMs, like you're really getting on it, man, this thing screams. Sometimes I forget that it's actually loud, because Corsa does such a great job on their anti-drone technology that it really makes a huge difference. In the car, I can drive this thing and I don't even really hear the exhaust. I mean, Ford did a really great job on their sound deadening material to begin with, but this exhaust, I actually enjoy driving that car now. Before, with the old setup, it was so obnoxiously loud that I was scared that I was going to get pulled over and get a ticket, and it was just, I don't know, I feel like for a high school kid, that might be their kind of thing. I mean, unless you want to be really loud as hell, I mean, that's cool, go do your thing. But for me personally, I felt like that was a little bit too obnoxious. How it is now, you can drive it, and it can be a daily driver, but it still sounds good. You can get on it, and it screams. And that's my favorite thing about the Corsa exhaust, is that it gives a 5.0 Coyote motor. I'm not going to say that it sounds exactly like the 5.2 Voodoo flat plane crank, because that's an amazing sounding motor. It just sounds very exotic sounding. I love the sound of it. But the Corsa Extreme, which is why I was debating on it, the Corsa Extreme exhaust, it almost makes it sound like the 5.2 liter Voodoo motor, because it adds a little bit of raspiness to it, but without a catalytic converter, it adds too much rasp and it's too obnoxious. So actually my setup right now, even though the sound level wise is where I want it to be at, I'm actually going to go ahead and add the vibrant bottle style vibrant resonators, so I can decrease some of the rasp before it gets to the double helix. Because right now I feel like there's still a lot of rasp in it. It almost sounds like you delete the catalytic converters on a V6 and you get that rasp. It's kind of the 5.0 Coyote motors are known, once you delete the cats, that they have add a little bit of rasp to it. So I'm going to go ahead and add those before the double helix. I don't want to add it after the double helix like I see a lot of people do, just because I feel like the double helix adds a little bit of rasp, but it gives it that unique exotic sound, and I don't want to mess with that. So anything behind the double helix, I'm not going to touch, because I want to keep a little bit of that rasp from the double helix, because I love the Corsa exhaust sound. It's so unique compared to the other exhaust companies out there. Now, so I'm going to add it before the double helix, where in that straight section before it turns to the where the stock resonator should sit. So right where the cowlet converters go down, then it goes straight. Now that's where I'm going to add my bottle style resonators, and I'll see if that decreases a little bit of rasp. And if it quiets it down too much, resonators aren't really supposed to quiet it down. So if it does quiet it down too much, I might swap out my axle backs with the extreme to see how that sounds. But I'm hoping to decrease a little bit of rasp. But in my opinion, if you're running catless, look at the Corsa, or catless, or even just headers back. Look at the Corsa Sport Catback. It's a very great exhaust setup. I love driving the car. Getting the best of both worlds, you'll have an active exhaust. But honestly, for just, I mean, you're not even on the throttle, you can sneak up on people in this thing. But once you get on it, man, this car gets pissed off. It's a pissed off coyote, I'll say that. You don't want to mess with it. But no, it's a great sounding exhaust. It's mean, it's deep, but with the double helix X-pipe that Corsa makes for this car, it gives it that little bit of raspiness. It gives it a little bit of an exotic tone to it. Now, if you have deleted the cats, it adds a little bit more rasp than you probably want. But like I said, that's what I'm going to go with the resonators and see how that can do. But I will tell you, it's from inside the car, it's a little, I mean, inside the car, it's not very loud at all. So it's kind of thinking, oh, it's not that loud. But really, between Ford's sound deadening material and Corsa's anti-drone technology, I mean, you're a lot louder than what you think for the most part. So keep that in mind, guys. Well, this exhaust setup gets a double thumbs up for me. I would highly recommend it if you're running catless or if you're running headers, and you don't want to awaken the dead. So let's look at my old setup. That's awaken the dead score, hands down. And sometimes, honestly, keep in mind, guys, that I'm going to post the different exhaust setups. This one is 10 times, I wouldn't say 10 times, but it's significantly a lot quieter than my old setup. The camera might not pick that up. You really have to hear the exhaust in person to really hear the difference, but I hope this gives y'all an idea of what the two setups are like. Well, guys, if you like this channel, go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our videos, and we'll see y'all guys in the next one. Maybe we might have a Ford Performance Pack Power Pack 2 on this car. We'll see, guys. Oh, and I'll go ahead and show you all the after once I put the resonators on it too. So hope y'all guys enjoyed, and we will see y'all guys in the next one. There's the underpass, guys. You know what that means.